Hello, my name is Jay. I'm going to introduce a book called 1984 by George Orwell. Firstly, I'll talk about the author. 1984 is a dystopian novel written by the English writer George Orwell. It was published in 1949 on June 8th as Orwell's ninth and final book. He was born on 25 June 1903 and died on 21 January 1950. He died when he was 46, which I think was really young. Now let me talk about the book. The story is about an imagined future is an unspecified year believed to be 1984. One of the reasons why he wrote this book was to show people the negative things that could happen if they allowed the government to control everything. Now I'll introduce the character of the 1984. First of all, I'll introduce the main character, Winston Smith. He is an outer party member who works at the Ministry of Love. He is 39 years old and tries to rebel against the Big Brother. He even joined the Big Brotherhood by hating it. Next, we've got a character called Julia. She appears in the book at the age of 26 and she is Winston's lover. She is pragmatic and sensual. She's the only one whom Winston can be sure hates the party and wishes to rebel against the Big Brother, as Winston does. Third, we've got O'Brien. He is an inner party member and works for the Ministry of Love like Winston Smith. He is a powerful inner party member. He tricked Winston into believing that he was a member of the revolutionary group called the Brotherhood. Lastly, we have Mr. Carrington. He is an old man who runs an antique shop where Winston and Julia meet to discuss the party. He provided them with a safe hiding place. Now I'll talk about the summary of the book. The story of the book begins in Oceania. Oceania is governed by an all-controlling party. As I mentioned, Winston was an outer party member. He lives in one room in an unclean apartment complex called Victory Mansions. He is a gifted writer whose job at the Ministry of Truth is to rewrite news articles. I'll explain how Winston and Julia met. They first met at the Ministry of Truth where they both work. At first, they kept eyeing each other even though both of them didn't even know their names. Surprisingly, Winston thought she was spying on him. He fears she's with the dog police and might try to entrap him. Suddenly, Julia slips Winston a note reading, "I love you." Winston and Julia both fell in love at first sight, so they decided to have a relationship. However, they end up getting arrested by the police for rebelling against the party. To explain more precisely, once he wrote down with Big Brother in his diary, Winston had an affair with Julia and began to think there was a chance of a successful rebellion. However, he was arrested and they even wanted to crush his spirit as well. The character that impressed me the most was O'Brien. In my opinion, he is the smartest one in this book. He was the reason why Winston ended up changing. O'Brien is depicted as highly intelligent and authoritative. He is a member of the inner party, which makes him one of the elite ruling class in the dystopian society of Oceania. His position grants him power and influence over the lives of the citizens. And there are many other books by George Orwell. There are Animal Farm, Homage to Catalonia, and Coming Up for Air. Thank you for listening to my thoughts and presentation about this book. Have a good day. Bye.